Hi, I'm Mark Toole with 8020service.com, and today's customer service video question of the day comes from Quora. It's an interesting one, to me at least. The question is, our sales are increasing, but our customers are not happy. How can we ensure top-class after-sales service and retain our customers? Okay. Very important question, one that a lot of businesses have faced, one that businesses that I've worked with have faced, hence the reason of me working with them in this capacity. It's incredibly important, and there are a few things you can do here, a lot of things you can do here really, which I'll get to. The first thing I will say though is not to just look for an easy slap-on bandage, one-size-fits-all solution. Unfortunately, you're asking this question on Quora, and because you asked anything on Quora, you're going to get useless spam answers. To be clear, I have no problem with people promoting a thing in a useful, helpful answer. Give a detailed, helpful, useful answer to the question. Then if you have something relevant to promote, say, hey, this thing exists, check it out here, fine. What I don't like, and what I see on almost every question, especially in the customer service category, is the thing where they paste a generic platitude about the topic at hand sometimes, and then launch right into a ridiculous, irrelevant pitch for some silly product, usually some weird computer software thing that has nothing to do with the question at all. And that's what we're seeing here right now. Customer service is important. Marketing is also important. You want your customers to be happy and not say bad things about you. That is why we created Service Edge using Suite app. NetSuite handles your after-sales operation. That's not what you asked. If that's what you're looking for, if you just want to buy a Service Edge NetSuite Suite app because a guy said so, go for it. The other answer here is a little more useful, but I think it's not that he's missing the point, but I think you're past the point of this guy's answer if you're asking this question. He basically says, if it's a very small percentage of your customers that are unhappy, that's fine, don't worry about it. Okay, sure. I guess that's partially true. I don't think you'd be asking this question if one or two people a year were like, hey, I'm not happy about this thing. It's a bigger problem than that, or you wouldn't be asking about it. Am I right? Yes. Okay, so getting into the real answer here, I'm not going to tell you that there's some simple answer. I'm not going to say buy my piece of software and it'll do some NetSuite, Suite app, Service Edge nonsense, something magical fix. I'm going to tell you that if your customers are increasingly not happy, and it's not just a couple one-off crazy lunatics, because you will always have, to this other guy's point, you will always have a few people who will just not going to be happy with anything. Maybe it was a bad fit, maybe they're bad people, maybe they're bad customers, maybe they shouldn't have bought the thing to begin with, maybe they just like to buy things and then complain because they have no social life and feel neglected in their relationships and want somebody to sympathize with them, so they take their anger out on customer service representatives. Maybe, who knows, maybe, who cares. These aren't the people we're talking about. You're asking this question because real customers are having real problems, real issues with your product, with your service. Now, I don't know what you sell, so the specifics, of course, depend on that. I don't know what problems these customers have with your product, with your service. But if you're getting a lot of unhappy customers, if you're getting a lot of complaints, if you're getting a lot of, and we'll move beyond complaints, if you're getting a lot of requests for things to your customer service department, if you're getting a lot of questions about things in your customer service department, what you need to do is sit down and look for patterns in this. What are people complaining about? What are people asking questions about? What requests are people making? Can you help me find whatever on the website? Then, once you've identified these things, you probably already have some idea about these things if you're looking at your customer service flow at all. If you're not, you should be. That's one of the main problems, I've written about this before, with sort of designating customer service to be its own separate thing over here and just treating it like a dumpster that customer problems flow into, and everybody else is like, let's do some marketing, let's make a product, let's sell a thing, and any problems come in, go to these people over here, we pay them nothing, we don't tell them anything about the business, they'll figure it out. Customer service is a generic, replaceable skill. Treat it as such. that's a problem. I'm not saying the person asking the question is doing this. I'm not saying anybody watching the video is doing this, but that is a tendency that tends to happen in a lot of businesses, and it creates a lot of these problems. Whether you're doing that or not, though, really the reason that's a problem in this particular case, which I sort of alluded to before, is because the people in the rest of the business, the people making the decisions, the marketing decisions, the product decisions, things like that, are completely cut off from the flow of information. And that's what these complaints and requests and things like that really are, information from the customers. Now, again, I will make this point again because it's important. You don't want to just look at everything people are complaining about there, and if, say, a lot of people are complaining about some aspect of your thing, you got to consider how many customers are fine with it as well. Now, if fixing it isn't going to affect anybody else, okay, fix it. But the majority of your customers, probably, I don't know anything about your business specifically, are the people you've never heard from, especially in any kind of online or service or product, any kind of business really, other than a local store with a cash register where everybody has to walk up and talk to somebody. Most businesses in the modern age are things where, for the most part, your customers don't have to talk to customer service. The information age has separated customer service from customer experience. Customer experience is what's important. Sometimes that depends on customer service, but less and less as we go forward. That said, look at the information coming in to your customer service department. If you don't already do this, you should spend some time maybe working these tickets yourself, answering these emails yourself. Even if you have a team for this, you should do that. If you have a team for this, you also have a frank conversation with your team and say, hey, what kind of issues are you guys seeing the most here? What are you spending the most time dealing with? What seems to be your impression of what's going on? What are the concerns of the customers? And if you really want to be smart, honestly, ask these people, what do you think would make this better? How could we fix this? You may or may not get good ideas depending who you have and how they've been trained or not trained to think for themselves, but you might. These are the people dealing with this stuff every day. For example, I mean, it's a really simple example. Dozens of customers a day are contacting your team asking you the same question, hey, how do I find whatever on the website? Maybe you could prevent all of those things by making this thing more clear on the website, or having links to it in multiple places, or making the information more clear some other way. Just a simple example, but this is what I'm talking about. Look at the things that your customers are not happy about, and then don't look just for a Band-Aid to patch that up when they complain. Look for a root cause of that, how you can make sure that that problem never happens again for that customer or for any customer ever again. It's really a pure application of the 80-20 principle, doing work, maybe intense, focused work, for a short period of time, and then changing things in a way that this will never be a problem again, ever. You're getting large benefits from a small, relatively speaking, amount of work, amount of effort, amount of focus, whatever you want to call it. That's what I would say. How do you ensure top-class after-sales service and retain our customers? Well, forget about top-class after-sales service, again, depending what you're selling. Focus on top-class, if you want to use that term. I don't know why you chose that term. I don't like that term. But if you want to have good, don't focus on good customer service. Focus on a good customer experience. And generally speaking, the best, again, depending what you're selling, for products, for services, the best customer experience is the customer experience where they never have to talk to customer service, and they never even think to talk to customer service, because the problems that they would have contacted customer service about never happened. They're not sitting around thinking, this company has great customer service. They're not even sitting around thinking, wow, I'm so happy I never had to contact customer service from these guys. They're also they've never had to think, hey, how do I contact customer service? What they're thinking is, I saw a piece of marketing for a thing. I wanted that thing. It is promised to provide benefits that I want, so I bought the thing. And I received the product, and I accessed the product, and I got into everything, and everything worked the way I expected, and everything I wanted to be there and more was delivered to me, and I'm happy. If you ask that guy about customer service, he'll probably ignore you, but if he doesn't, he's not going to have anything to say about customer service, because in his mind, he's never had any customer service. But in my mind, in hopefully in your mind and the mind of people doing business correctly, the current way, not the old industrial era way, but business for the information age going forward, you've done the best customer service possible by preventing this person from ever having to contact customer service. And that's what you should focus on. This, again, the specifics depend on what they're complaining about. You need to identify what they're complaining about before you can fix it and stop them from complaining about it. But, you know, some people will tell you this is laziness. Oh, we just want our customer service people not to have anything to do. Fine. Call it laziness if you want. Actually, I'll agree with that. I'd love to have my customer service people have nothing to do. I would love nothing more than to pay customer service people to sit at their computers all day long with no complaints to handle. Just sitting there, just watching, just making sure nothing comes up. And if it does, they'll handle it. But that's the best day in customer service for me, when there are no complaints, no problems, no questions, no issues. Again, as long as the sales continue to come in, which you said they are. So that's really the best of both worlds. It's, generally speaking, an unattainable goal. Someone will always have a problem with something. Something will legitimately break from time to time in any business. And some people will have questions regardless of how clear you make the information. And then you'll have, of course, the crazy guy we already talked about who just wants somebody to talk to. You can't completely eliminate customer service this way, but that should be sort of the focus of your efforts, is preventing as many people as possible from ever having to deal with these bad experiences at all. So I've gone on long enough about this. I'll wrap this answer up here. Don't waste your time signing up for Inspira Cloud Tech, 15 plus years in NetSuite consulting. If you even know what that means, fine, do what you like, but I don't think that's the solution to your problem. If these customer complaints really are a tiny, 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 tiny percentage of your customer base, maybe don't worry about it too much. Even then, if you're spending any significant amount of time handling them, responding to them, dealing with them, if this is just a tiny subset of really terrible customers, you know, and it's that small that you're not going to worry about it, instead of just not worrying about it, 80-20 the thing, find a way to get rid of those people, move them to a competitor, get them off your platform, whatever it is you're doing, because they're causing you a lot of problems. And if it's not a real problem with something you need to fix in your business, it's just a hassle for you. So that's what I would do, at least. But as always, I'm going to wrap this video up here. And I'll go through the whole thing again for those of you who are watching my videos here for the first time. I do one of these videos every weekday on a customer service question, usually from Quora. I post the videos to Quora and on YouTube, so depending where you're watching, like, thumbs up, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. If you have a question for me about customer service topics, ask me on Quora, ask me in the comments on YouTube. I may use it in a future video. And I also write regularly on business and customer service topics in response to questions on Quora and on the website 8020service.com, like the 80-20 principle, no backslashes or anything, just 8020service.com. Like I said, I write about this regularly there, and I have a daily email that goes out. So get over there, get on the list if you're interested in this stuff. Otherwise, I'll wrap this video up here, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video.